guys, and welcome back to Pro Tours and Videos number 3. Our next and almost final stop on this tour is the 1820 courthouse and new town hall that is connected to it. In Plymouth, it is a great pride of the community to have this courthouse. It was the first really important public building built in the town. So, in 1973, development of the property began with a wooden jail to replace the old courthouse on Summer Street. The wooden jail was eventually replaced with a granite one at the cost of $11,500 behind the site of the current courthouse. The turn of the 19th century heralded expansion as the Plymouth colony outgrew the 1749 courthouse in the town square, and officials prepared to move to the new courthouse to be built on the jailhouse property. This was a part of a larger movement by the Massachusetts court on system to upgrade its professional image by building new dedicated courthouses, relieving the need to hold trials in shared townhouses or even taverns, as had been the custom for many years. Architects at the time opted for English Georgian styles, evident in the Salem courthouse built in 1785 and the Worcester courthouse constructed in 1803. The 1820 courthouse was intended as a declaration of the town as the county seat. It was part of an effort to quell a growing movement to move the shire town to another, more centrally located town in the county. Every town voted for itself, but Plymouth, as the largest town, had the most voting leverage and carried the day. Plymouth builder John Bates designed and constructed the original 1820 courthouse, which we're standing in now, which was only the size of about this room. It's replicated here. It was about 40 by 60 feet long, and that was the size of the whole building, and additions followed over the years. The 1820 courthouse's original facade boasted 5 windows with a central entrance. The building was expanded in 1857 until it boasted 8 windows across and 2 entrances. The old granite jail was replaced with a brick one in 1852, which is still on the site behind the courthouse and known today as the County Commissioner's Building. The old granite jail was torn down in 1884, and the courthouse also went through a stucco phase when officials decided to stucco the outside brick and paint it in an effort to approximate the brownstone look. But in the 1930s, more historic heads prevailed and the stucco was removed, thus returning the 1820 courthouse to its original brick splendor. If we start losing things like this great courthouse, we could look no different than some Midwestern town. It's one of the most significant surviving places in the town of Plymouth. The courthouse is a symbol of what makes Plymouth important and what makes its community that survived and prospered. Since then, they have made many new great renovations, which I will show you in a second. They also have this great town hall with so many floors. This isn't a place where you can really have a lot of fun, but it's a really historic and free place that's really, really cool. Leyden Street, originally First Street, Great and Broad Street, and even The Street, was named in 1823, is a street in Plymouth, Massachusetts that was created in 1620 by the Pilgrims, and it claims to be the oldest continuously inhabited street in the 13 colonies of the British North America. The Pilgrims first began laying out this street before the Christmas in 1620 after disembarking from the Mayflower, allegedly on nearby Plymouth Rock. The original settlers built their houses along the street from the shore up to the base of Burial Hill, where the original fort building was located, and now is the site of the cemetery and the first church of Plymouth. The town brook is adjacent to the street and provided drinking water for the early colonists. Governor William Bradford, Dr. Samuel Fuller, Peter Brown, Nathaniel Leonard, and other settlers owned lots along the road. The famed First Thanksgiving was likely held nearby in 1621. In 1823, the street was named Leyden Street after the city in Holland that offered the Pilgrims refuge before coming to America. Leyden Street, as it looked in 1627, has been recreated at Plymouth Plantation. Although other streets, such as those in Jamestown, Virginia, were used intermittently, Leyden Street has been used continuously since the original settlers built the houses along the lane. Plymouth-born school teacher, also my mentor, Mr. Carleen was especially fond of this road and historical place as a kid. Mr. Carleen, can you tell us some of the history around the road and places?
Sure. So Leyden Street was one of the first streets in Massachusetts, and therefore even in the United States, that's still being used today. It was created in 1620 by the Pilgrims. It was crossed by King Street, which is now Main Street. We have an image right here from the top of the street today, looking up from the church and down towards the water. A very similar view that the Pilgrims would have had in their day and age as well.
Could you tell us why you liked it so much as a kid?
I think I didn't really know too much about it as a kid. It wasn't until I went to Plymouth Plantation and then back downtown and back to Plymouth Plantation and back downtown again that I finally realized that that's where Plymouth Plantation actually was. And at that time I could really see how the streets were so laid out and what it really was like back then. And that's what I really found very fascinating about it.
Nice. Can we see some of the pictures that you have today?
Sure. So I have here an image of what it looked like in the 1800s. So you can see it. It was a dirt road still at that point. I'm not sure when it was actually paved, but a lot of the main roads in Plymouth were paved much later than you might think. Even Long Pond Road, which runs the length of Plymouth, wasn't entirely paved until the 1970s. So even Leyden Street in our downtown district was not as developed until very recently. Even in my lifetime, I've seen a lot of changes there. Here's a map of what it looked like back in the Pilgrims' time. So Burial Hill, right at the top, is still in existence. That's where the fort was if you've ever been to Plymouth Plantation. That's where it's looking out over the water and down the street. So UMass actually did some archaeological studies there, trying to find the foundations of the original fort. While I don't believe they ever found exactly where it was, they did find some other interesting things. But you can see where Governor Bradford had his very large house on the corner there. You can see where John Billington, the first murderer in America, lived right across the street from Governor Bradford, and William Brewster, and some of these other people that we know so well from history, but then can actually visualize and go see the exact places where these events took place.
Thank you, Mr. Carleen.
Sure thing.
went to. Located within walking distance to the historical Plymouth Rock, Nathaniel Morton has served the population of this coastal town since 1913. It is no wonder that their school motto is, "Where generations have learned." The 600 students from kindergarten to grade 5 receive instruction in all the major academic areas. This building used to be a high school, library, and even a town hall until they moved away. The person it is named after is Nathaniel Morton. Captain Nathaniel Morton, different person, christened in 1616 and he died in 1685, was a separatist settler of Plymouth Colony in Massachusetts, where he served as most of his life as Plymouth secretary under his uncle, Governor William Bradford. Morton wrote an account of the settlement of the colony, the first historical text published in the United States, and was the first to publish the list of signers of the Mayflower Compact, as well as an account of the first Thanksgiving. But Nathaniel Morton, who lived from 1831 to 1902, was a benefactor of the town, and Morton Park was also named after him. By the time the school had been completed in 1913, it had also been named after, and I quote, "a citizen of rare public spirit and of useful, benevolent, upright life, most genial nature or uncommon kindliness, and unvarying rectitude in social, civic, and business life." A local Plymouth native, also my brother, Noah Kerr, currently attends this great school. Noah, what do you like about this school?
I like that it's very interactive and you can do different things such as school activities there.
Very good answer. What other things, what is really, really unique about the school?
It's very old. Like, it used to be a high school and also a town hall, so it has really a significance to the town.
That is also another great answer. Noah, how do you like the teachers there?
They are very nice. Some are mean, but most are very nice.
Thank you, Noah. As we close out that section on Plymouth and open up another one, we're going to be going into churches next week. But before we go, here's a school joke from Noah. I know, I'll stop. Just not today or tomorrow.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
A broken pencil.
A broken pencil who?
Never mind, it's pointless.
Ha ha ha! Remember, the addresses of most of the places are in the description below, and make sure to check them out for those amazing places. If you guys have any questions or comments, make sure to tell me in the comments below, and like and subscribe for more content. See ya!